With me. We're going for a walk down to the dock, where I'm going to give you a quick tour. The owl is here. Quick tour of my wharf and my experiments. This over here is the milfoil that is growing up quite thick, and it will soon be getting biochar bags surrounding it attached to that log and another couple of logs that are going to be across my shoreline with biochar sacks in it. Cool, huh? Okay. We're coming over here. I have a dumpster coming, so I'm getting rid of all my junk and this will all get organized. I'm so excited. So this is my garden that I built with the permaculture course in 2014, and it used to have vegetables in it. But I'm not a vegetable grower, which is really funny that the universe gave me this floating garden idea and I have no idea what I'm planting or how to grow it. Anyways, so this is now just turned into a grass garden, but it is doing some great bioremediation. The root systems are coming out. We've got the grasses, cattails over there, and yeah, that's a grass garden. This one is the garden I built with my nephew Jonathan, which won us the 10-10-100 permaculture course contest with Javin Bernakovich, and we were to build something in 10 hours, in less than 10 days, and under $100 that could be good for the environment and you could market it. So we built this floating wetland. So this wetland is really incredible. And we started out with cattails, hardhack grasses. I threw in comfrey, willows, poplars, more grasses. This, I think, I'm not even sure what this is, but let's push this out and hopefully you can see. The root system that's growing underneath the garden. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. I'm hoping for an underwater drone to come by to take some shots of this. So this garden is for pure bioremediation. The comfrey and is growing really well. It really likes having wet feet, and it absorbs sodium and sulfur, which is something that we have in our water thanks to Port Moody Pacific Coast Terminals bringing us their dredgings from their harbor area so they could build a new terminal, probably for LNG or something. This was another garden we had. We took some old containers that used to house flotation devices and turned them into container gardens. Once again, this grew my food for several years, but I haven't been into the growing the food in the last few years because I know what's in the water and I don't want to eat anything that comes out of the water until I've cleaned it with the biochar and the comfrey and the natural plants. So this garden here is doing really well with the cattails. They're all going to go to flower on the top here, which is beautiful. And the beaver seems to, knock on wood, haven't eaten them because I don't think he can get to the roots through the bottom of the container. So yay! This one over here just has weeds. I've got a garlic, I think, growing in it, and some strawberries. But it got too wet, so I need to lift it up with flotation. Nothing planted. I've got 2 blueberry bushes that are one's in the tire there and one's in a tire over there. But they're not doing well in their second year. So I think they are too cold in the winter maybe. The tire just isn't enough insulation to keep their roots warm sitting in the water. So that experiment's not working. This here is my friend Diane's wharf. It came from just down south of me. And originally we cut out rotting boards because it's, quite an old wharf, and we cut out the rotting boards and we put in gardens, and so far it's just growing alder now, grass. I think there might be a little strawberry plant in here, and then hardhack over here, which is the shoreline plant. Over here, the garden actually fell out and we took it over and put it over there. See that end there? That used to be in there. And so it fell out and I put it on that. So let's go to that. This one is another garden that just kind of, the dock just kind of floated in, and I've just been stuffing broom on top of it and chucking in hardhack and comfrey and grasses and things that float in. So I've got a nice little patch of You can see it there, parrot feather that's wrapped around the hardhack. Let me zoom in. That would be the parrot feather there. Sorry, milfoil. I keep saying parrot feather, but it's milfoil. Anyway, so it's in there, and it is spreading all over the lake now. So the biochar experiment, which I'm doing in my pond, and I'm not running up to the pond, is doing an amazing thing, stopping the algae from growing and eating it in under 2 weeks now. Over here, I have another dock I have to replant or do something with. I've got logs out there that are growing alder trees, hardhack, and mosses on, and those are going to get moored out in front of my wharf because I have to do something about the wakeboard waves because they are bending my pilings, and it's just not good. So I have to do something to try and break the wave action from these large boats that people surf behind on a freshwater watershed aquifer. Back here I have another little garden and some pieces of foam that floated in. So pieces of foam, not sure what to do. They might be going in the dumpster. But the little garden behind there I'm going to plant with a bunch of watershed stuff. Anyways, and this one over here is, oops, sorry. My phone is acting weird. There we go. This one garden over here with the moss on the front, that is actually the first garden I ever had. It went floating past my house one day. So Gary went out and fetched it for me, and he brought it in. And this is where the whole idea of floating gardens, wetlands came from. Was from this little lovely, looked like a gangplank that had broken apart, and it floated in. And this is where I went, oh, we could grow our shoreline again after they flooded it. I thankfully have a few reeds showing up in that corner over there. That whole shoreline used to be covered in reeds, like covered in reeds, and that's what I've got. Anyways, quick tour of the gardens and my experiments that I have ongoing. This needs some flotation device, so I'm looking for those tree planting styrofoam containers or inner tubes that I can fill up with air underneath and lift the garden up. Anyways, yeah, thanks for going on a tour of my floating gardens.